Hello, and welcome back to Cape Corner, where we explore the history, story, and cultural impact of a different character or group every episode. I'm Blue,
And I'm Jay.
and we're doing another video game character today. Uh, I realize that we do video game and anime characters, and I should have done another anime character by now, but for some reason my brain's just been like, "Yo, we do video game characters, and that's it, nothing else." So, so
Oh, I don't
uh,
mind.
I know you don't. You're the one that's super jazzed for this episode, as almost like an apology for the Kingdom Hearts episodes where I have been explaining the plot of the entire Kingdom Hearts series to both Jordan and um. I decided Jay should get a turn to be able to talk passionately about a topic. So why don't you tell us and the viewers and everything what we're doing today?
Today, we're going to be talking about Jak and Daxter, one of the mascots for the PS2, and my personal favorite.
Aren't they also Insomniac?
Uh, yes.
Thought
Yes,
so.
they are.
But Jay, what is Jak and Daxter?
Well, since you asked, Jak and Daxter is primarily a third-person platformer, kind of like Crash or... Oh,
Spyro.
what's that? Oh, yeah, Spyro. I wasn't thinking of Spyro, though. I was thinking of Ratchet and Clank. Isn't that a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank is also Insomniac, and it's sort of the spiritual successor to Jak and Daxter. I think in the first Ratchet and Clank game, you can actually get a precursor orb.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's like a little secret trinket you can get.
I know Jak and Daxter was a what was that word you just said when you said
Precursor?
yeah. No, not that. When you said Ratchet and Clank was something to Jak and Daxter.
Spiritual successor.
Yeah. That's what Jak and Daxter was for Crash. They were trying to improve it and make it better in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Man, I remember playing the Crash Bandicoot games as a kid. I think I played Crash Bandicoot 2, and I did not have the mental fortitude for that game. Um, I don't know, like something about the platforming in that game was always really difficult for me when I was a little kid.
Honestly, that's how I felt about Jak and Daxter when I was a kid. Like I
Yeah.
loved the game and I loved the story, but certain parts were just really hard for me as a kid.
I think it was a very specific like it's one of those things where you kind of can't describe it to someone who's never experienced it, but it's the feeling of platforming in a late 90s early 2000s full 3D environment game, like a PS2 era platformer.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of games that were doing that at the time. The like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone game had some of that going on. Uh and they were all kind of janky.
They really were though.
Like every that was just the format of games for that era, and yet they still hadn't completely figured it out. I think it's because everybody was trying to recapture the success of Super Mario 64, which was like the
Yeah.
first uh like 3D open world, platformer, action platformer. And uh that only came out a couple years before, these all these games. So that was like the blueprint that everyone else was trying to follow. You're taking the lead. You can keep talking
Oh,
about Jack and
right.
Daxter.
I'm not used to taking the lead.
Yeah, that pause wasn't edited in or like, well, as far as I'm aware, we didn't lose one of us talking there. It was just quiet for a minute.
All right. So the first Jak and Daxter, which is just Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy, we get introduced to Jak and Daxter. They're both. The wiki says they're actually humans, which I guess they
What?
are. Yeah, they're just humans with very long ears, like elf ears, but like times 10.
Yeah,
And but other than that, the wiki literally just says they're human.
that's bizarre.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I thought they had like a name for their people.
I thought they did too, but
Like how Link is called a fucking Hylian.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I could actually look that up. Maybe the wiki could be wrong.
But Jay, I thought Daxter was a little mongoose or some shit.
Daxter was originally a human until he fell into a vat of dark eco, which I will explain eco in a second. And then he came out as an Otzel, which is a hybrid between Weasel and
He's like a meerkat.
I don't think it was Meerkat.
Oh, is there like a specific thing that they've named what they are? Because I was just talking about
Yeah.
similar animals.
Yeah, it's oh that annoys me now. I was literally just looking at it and I can't find it.
Well, I mean, not because Oxel, Weasel is in there, but
Maybe.
an ocelot is like a kind of cat. And if you
Oh,
give one of those cats, oh, sorry, go ahead.
it's a hybrid of an otter and a weasel.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just gonna say if you give an ocelot a gun, it becomes a revolver ocelot. Look forward to the Metal Gear Solid episode that we'll never do because like you know how confusing it's been for you guys trying to listen to me explain the Kingdom Hearts lore.
Yeah.
Feel the exact same way when someone tries to explain Metal Gear Solid to me.
It's something that I've heard is really good, but I've never actually gotten into. Like I tried playing, I think it was the fifth one that was on PS4, and I just could
Yeah.
not get into it.
Yeah, I don't like the gameplay very much. And the story, it's like they do a lot of anime tropes, but they don't go full like cartoonish anime like Kingdom Hearts does. They still try to keep it like somewhat like I'm using the term grounded extremely liberally here, but you get what I mean. In the aesthetic, more in the like actual physics of the way things works. But
Yeah.
but like because it's like the series is told completely non-linearly. Like, first of all, Metal Gear Solid 1 is already a sequel to two arcade games that were called Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. Um, so unless you know about those arcade games, you won't understand. Like when they're talking about like, oh, he's a clone of Big Boss. Like who the fuck is Big Boss? It's like, well, if you played the arcade cabinet, and just like, oh god damn it. So it's one of those. And then like Metal Gear Solid 2 is a sequel to Metal Gear Solid 1, but then Metal Gear 3 Snake Eater, I fucking love that song. Is like the earliest game in the so it's like a prequel, and then Metal Gear Solid is a sequel too, but like way far in the future.
Oh,
Or not that far in the future, but because Solid Snake is a clone, he ages faster, so he's an old man.
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is that it can be very complicated. I've literally only picked some of this stuff up through osmosis because I've just been like, I'm tired of being confused about this shit. Thankfully, Jak and Daxter has a much simpler story going on. So tell us what's up with that story.
Okay, so since I'd explained the eco, I want to get that away first.
Sounds good.
So there is light eco, dark eco, green eco, blue eco, and yellow eco. Oh, and red eco. And each there are sages that essentially not mess with, they study each eco, and they're all known as the specific type of sage, so like a green sage or the yellow sage and all that. And those ecos can give Jack and Daxter powers, like red eco in the first game makes them stronger, blue eco makes them quicker. I forgot what yellow eco did. I'll have to look that up. Dark eco is very unpredictable, which it literally turned Daxter into an Otzel.
Yeah.
And then light eco is supposed to be a counter towards dark eco, which we actually don't know much about light eco.
Does that mean that like if Daxter was like dipped into a vat of light eco at the end of like Jack and Daxter 3, that he would just come out as the gross fat human guy that he was again?
He actually had an option to go back to human.
Oh, did
At
he?
the, yeah, but he declined it.
Oh, okay. Just know that like I've seen a little bit of these games and I did see what he looked like as a human. I'm like, man, honestly, you look better like this because you were
Oh, for
ugly.
sure. I feel like in the creating the games, they created Daxter as an Otto first, and then they were like, but how do we explain that? And then they just made up him as an afterthought.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even understand that thought process of like, how do we explain that? It's like the game hasn't started yet. You could just be like, oh, these creatures can talk sometimes. Make it like Meowth from Pokemon. Fuck it. Who cares?
So after Daxter falls into the dark eco and comes out Nozzle, they freak out and they go to the green sage who has been mentoring them about just life. He's his mentor. Green sage says essentially, I told you not to fuck with dark eco. And says you gotta you gotta find all the other sages, see if they can help you. And that's pretty much the main point in Jack and Daxter 1 is to find all of the sages and help them with their problems so they will help you. I forgot to mention in the first game, Jack is actually mute. That was something that the 90s did that I actually kind of hated, is that your
Yeah,
protagonist is always mute.
yeah. It wasn't just the 90s because like Doom Guy is another character that is famously mute, or at the
Oh yeah,
very least
that's
like
true.
barely ever speaks. So it was just like an old video game thing. It was like a carryover because in the old games, you didn't have access to the technology to like do a lot of voice lines in those games, so your character just wouldn't talk outside of the like her like sound effects.
Yeah.
And so like in the 90s when they had the technology, they're like, yeah, but video game protagonists don't usually talk much, so that's why like they were still having Mario be like, wahoo, here we go, and like not much else, or fucking so long, Gay Bowser. And that's about it. And so Jack was another one where they made him silent. And I think there was actually a joke in Jack 2, right? Where like the game starts, some conversations being had, and Jack's just like, okay. And doesn't Daxter be like, just, oh God.
Yeah. Actually, I will explain that in a second. It's actually very funny.
I remember like I played a little bit of these games years and years ago, but my memory is very hazy.
My memory's always shot because of ADHD.
That's true.
That's why I have a hard time remembering anything when it's on the spot.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, the sages. So after they find a few of the sages, I think the first one they were looking for was the red sage, and his whole village was being destroyed by a monster that you, as the player, have to obviously defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember who came after the red sage. So they find the red sage. He tells them to find another sage, and pretty much the whole process repeats until you find all the sages. And then throughout the story, you learn that the sage of Dark Eco is actually the main villain because he dabbled too much with it and became evil. Obviously, Dark Eco, it's in the name. And he's the one who has been sending the monsters to terrorize each village and cause problems. At the end of the game, you have to defeat him, and he's this giant, controls this pretty much giant robot, which, if I remember correctly, was created by, oh, what was the name of it? I want to say they were called the Precursors. I
Yeah.
think it was Precursors. That's right. The Precursors, which they were an ancient race, which pretty much knew everything. They were like a very advanced race, but then just mysteriously vanished and no one knows anything about them.
They were the Protheans.
Literally, they were the Protheans. Oh, I hope people played Mass Effect so they get that.
I want to like find out years after these games have like long been irrelevant. Like, by the way, Jack and Daxter's set in the Mass Effect universe.
Oh shit, that would be weird but funny.
Yeah, just like they're on their own planet with like their own ecosystem. Sorry, and like it's just like things are just different here. You just gotta deal with that.
After you defeat them, it's pretty much like a happy story ending. Y'all alive. You guys are all alive and all that. Throughout the game, though, if you have to collect what's called precursor orbs to advance to the next stage. If you collected, I think it was 100 out of the 101 precursor orbs that are in the game, you get a quote-unquote secret ending. Which they brought all the precursor orbs that they collected to a gate, and literally all you see is the characters looking at the gate, but you don't see the gate, but it lights up and it's a bright light, and that's the end.
Oh, that fucking sucked as a secret ending.
Yeah, it really did. And then the next game is technically Daxter, but also Jak 2. So, like, obviously Jak 2 came first.
Is that when Daxter takes place during the events of Jak 2?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because there was like a time skip or something, right?
Yeah. What happens is that portal actually sent them into the future.
Gotta get back to the past, Samurai Jack.
And
have you seen Samurai Jack to get that?
Yeah, I've seen Samurai Jack.
Okay.
Oh, where was I going with that?
They got sent to the future.
They got sent to the future, and within the first few minutes of Jak 2 is when the game Daxter is involved. And I'm not gonna lie, I really don't know much about Daxter because I never played it.
I remember he got a job as like an exterminator, and it was basically just like because he's small, he can go into like these tiny spaces, and he's got like you know those old timey like they're like it's like a syringe almost, like it's a big like tube that's pointed at the end, and it's got like a handle that like you push in like an air pump and it
Yeah.
sprays out noxious gas or whatever. He's got like a one of those almost as big as he is, and it's like strapped to his back like a backpack, like a fucking Ghostbusters thing. Um, and he just goes around and fucking like kills rats of unusual size and shit.
Oh, okay. Did you ever finish the game?
No,
Oh, because
I traded my PSP in high school for a PlayStation 2 to someone else.
that's a good ass trade though.
Yeah, I was like, I have this Naruto Ultimate Ninja game. I have Daxter. Uh, I think I had Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, and I was like, I'll give you these 3 games in my PSP. You give me your PS2, and I got like 5 PS2 games out of it.
That is an awesome trade for you. Like,
Uh,
that's
he thought he
awesome.
was making out because like the PSP was newer, but me who had been playing PSP, I was like, this thing kind of fucking sucks.
I loved the PSP, but it kind of did.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
was the design choice to make that stupid little nub? You've only got one control stick, quote unquote, and it's this nub that doesn't tilt. It slides.
Was that the PSP? I thought that was the PS Vita.
It was the PSP as well. Trust me, I remember.
Oh, I don't remember that. I remember maybe I just always used arrows then on that.
I used arrows as much as I could because that little control nub fucking sucked. It's like trying to use a trackball. You know how like laptops in the middle of the keyboard will have a little trackball, and it's like you'll
Yeah.
put pressure on it and it'll move the mouse around, but it's like you'll just barely touch it and the mouse just goes whoa like across the screen.
Oh, shit. Okay, so I'm gonna
So that's
look up the ending to Daxter real quick to see if it actually has any importance or if it was just like a little side adventure, essentially.
I mean, like, what does he say when he sees Jack again in the beginning of Jack 2? Like,
Oh,
he's just
right.
like,
So when Jack 2 happens, you get sent through the portal and you come into this huge city with there's a bunch of guards there with guns pointing at you essentially, as well as civilians running away from fear.
mm-hmm.
And the guards knock out Jack and Daxter runs away, little coward. And the whole Daxter thing happens, which I want to say it was 2 years, if I remember correctly.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years. And then Daxter essentially. Oh, they took him prisoner after they knocked him out. And they did a bunch of experiments on him with Dark Eco.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
And his
and
hair
then
got long because of the dark eco, not because he aged.
yeah, actually in Jack and Daxter he was 15, and then I think in Jack 2, I'm obviously he'd be was 2 years.
Yeah, but like I remember when I was a kid, I heard that Jack 2 took place after a time skip. I'm like, oh, okay. Because like he has little like spiky like anime hair in Jack 1. So in Jack 2, his hair is like long and it's like gelled back and it goes down his back. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, his hair is long because it's been 2 years. And they're like, no, his body has been transformed by the dark eco. And I'm like, and it's long. That's it. You're like, yes. I'm like, okay. yeah, Andy is here. It said Goku hair syndrome. Fucking like, because like Daxter got turned into a fucking weasel, and and it just makes Jack's hair long. Dark
It
Eco
did.
really be doing whatever the fuck it wants.
Yeah, pretty much. I forgot to mention, I don't think it's that important, but just wanted to mention it. Well, two things now, actually, that I think about it. When you defeated the big boss at the end of the first game, you actually combine all the ecos and use light eco to defeat the dark eco.
You know what? Last week we did an episode on Green Lantern, and that sounds exactly like when I described how Kyle Rayner wore one of each of the 7 Lantern Corps rings to cheat his way into becoming a White Lantern.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to mention isn't actually about the story of Jak and Daxter. It's more about the hardware or whatever. Not hardware, but software, technically.
The gameplay.
Yeah. So Jak and Daxter, they were I don't want to say the first, but one of the first games, especially for the PS2, where going between different villages and everything, they did not have a loading screen. There was no loading screen whatsoever in Jak and Daxter, which was very impressive for the time.
That's
How
I mean, a
yeah.
lot of games nowadays don't even do that. So, with the limitations of the time, that is definitely impressive. It's because like the way that works, and forgive me if I get part of this incorrect. I am not a game developer. My knowledge is not professional in this. I believe what's happening is they have a certain load distance. So what happens is a loading screen isn't necessary because part of the game loads, and as you get farther away from an area, let's say it loads 1 mile around you in all directions, right? It's a 1 mile
Yeah.
radius. Say you're standing in the middle of a town and you start leaving the town. As the game loads the area in front of you, it is like deloading the town behind you once you get a mile away from it. So it's just constantly loading within a certain vicinity of you, so that it's not like, okay, you go through a door. This door is its own map. It's its own area. So now the game deloads everything you were just in and loads the entire environment from the ground up. It doesn't have to do that.
Yeah. I think that was pretty much exactly how it is, actually. I'm the same. I know a bit, but I'm not an expert.
Yeah, it's like yeah. Again, Andy's here. I don't know if you guys can hear, but they're like Minecraft. It
Yeah.
it takes work to make a map like that, right? Because it also it's difficult to make that work with indoor environments as well. You have to make those indoor environments part of the overall map, which a lot of times it's easier just to make an indoor environment its own map.
Yeah.
And like the bigger a map is, especially in those older games, the more of a risk there is run of there being crazy bugs. Because when there's only so many resources in a single instance, it's a lot easier to isolate a bug because there's less things interacting with each other. Because you got to remember, every object, every bush, every inclined plane like a hill, every enemy, they all have their own physics, their own rules they abide by, and this game is calculating all of that shit in real time. And so the bigger a map is, the more things that are able to interact with each other and the more rules and fixes you need to implement into the game. Which is also why Skyrim is a buggy motherfucker.
Actually, I wanted to mention something about that real quick.
Yeah.
Speaking of how there's so many collisions and everything, when they were doing bug testing for the original scene, the opening scene, which everyone knows at this point, the "Hey, you're finally awake."
Yeah.
There was a bug that only happened 1 out of every 20 times you played the intro, where every once in a while your cart would just start freaking out and going haywire. And this is a different bug than most people think of, actually, because there were two bugs that did that. This bug was because a bee would fly in front of the cart and make it go haywire. So they had to make it so the bee would not collide with that cart. Yeah. The second bug that messed with the cart was because for some reason it was tied to the frame rate. So if you had a higher frame rate, it would fuck with the cart, which
I
is
just
what most
imagine
people know.
I just imagine like a realistic scenario. Like there's some prisoners in the back of a cart, and they're talking like, "Oh yeah, it's the damn storm cloaks and whatnot." And the driver's just like, "Oh shit, a bee!" And it fucking swerves and like whips the cart. Somehow they wind up in a tree.
Save the bees. Oh
Oh,
shit.
okay. You can continue now.
um oh, Jack 2. It actually not about the story again, but about the gameplay and development real quick. Oh, it got very dark very quickly, unlike the first one, which was very lighthearted. And I don't want to say because it was for kids, but kind
It
of.
it was though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
I know
It was
we try to avoid saying that for a lot of stuff nowadays because it's like given this negative connotation, but it's like, well, no, it just was for kids, and that's fine. You can be an adult and play a game for kids, and we should stop acting like you can't.
yeah. But within development of Jack 2, they were having kids review them, obviously, to see what they like and what they could do better, how most games do. And they actually did not like it for the sole purpose of GTA, because GTA came out and it was edgy, it was had guns, you could shoot and kill people. So
Yeah.
that's the sole reason why the Jack and Daxter series got dark.
Is it really? That's fascinating to me.
Yeah,
I sometimes forget that these games are part of an industry where they're taking notes from each other.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3 is the one that came out around that time. There are technically a Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2, and nobody talks about those games because
Nobody
nobody
plays them.
played nobody played the first two. I actually have played a bit of both of the first two games, and they're different. That's why nobody talks about them. They're top down, completely 2D. Um, it almost feels like a well, it's like old arcade style games where it's like you 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 aim your gun by just pointing, one of the eight cardinal directions that you're walking in, basically.
Yeah.
Um, and and obviously the transition from that to a fully 3D game um, almost makes it feel like a completely different game. So everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3." That's like the start of the Grand Theft Auto franchise.
I just find it wild though that Grand Theft Auto had that big of an influence, that it influenced that whole series though.
Yeah, I was this is sort of getting off on a tangent, but I was just watching Totally Not Mark's review of Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2, and he brought up a similar point. He's like, a lot of people don't care for the tone of this movie, but you got to remember that what the culture of movies was at this time. Like the movie came out right after the end of the Dark Knight trilogy, and
Yeah.
everyone praised those movies for being a more grounded and gritty, realistic interpretation, character driven and whatnot. Um, and so Mark Webb was tasked to do the same thing with Spider-Man, and in that regard, I think he did very well. And yeah, so it makes sense that like again with Grand Theft Auto being such a massive phenomenon when it came out for the 3rd time, that uh, other games were like take fucking notes. And yeah, I do remember Jack 2 being darker, and I love it because like it's almost like a natural thing. Like it seems like the second in especially trilogies is always where things get darker, right?
Yeah.
Like Empire Strikes Back. It's just the good place to transition into that.
Yeah, it went from an E rating to a teen rating.
Ooh, dark.
Oh, now I can get back to the story and say the funny part. So, after the 2 years that Jack has been imprisoned, tortured, and been experimented on with a crap ton of dark eco, and keep in mind he has never spoken a word before this, Daxter somehow finds a way into that highly secured prison and jumps on top of Daxter, who is just strapped down to this metal chair,
You
wakes
mean
him
Jack?
up. Yeah, sorry. Jumps on Jack, who is strapped down in this metal chair, and wakes him up and saying that we got to get out of here in the whole 9 yards. And he looks Daxter right in the eyes, and you can tell he's really pissed. He goes, "I'm gonna kill Praxis." That was the
Oh
first what
yeah.
yeah. Literally the first sentence he has ever said.
I remember that now. Like when you said it, I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
Dude, that is a wild first line, especially like with the super like family friendly nature of the first game. To have Jack
Yeah.
finally speak, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill him." It's just like, damn. Okay.
I should say Praxis is the person in charge of like everything, and he's the one who had Jack imprisoned and tortured and all that.
Yeah, he's like a general, right? General Praxis.
Yeah.
Okay, it's starting to come back to me a little bit.
So within that, they escape and they try to find refuge, and they find one dude. Hang on. I don't want to just say one dude and one girl. I want to actually give names.
Yeah. Well, while you're thinking about it, let's pause for a moment for an ad break.
I miss when men went to war and died.
What
Damn.
the fuck?
Harsh.
Yeah, you sick bitch.
You've never fucking seen that on Twitter? Hello?
I probably have.
I don't use Twitter.
Oh yeah, we have a Neanderthal here. That's right.
Oh, I found the name, by the way.
Oh, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. And we're back. Seamless transition once again by yours truly. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Continue with the story.
So, one of the first people that he finds is a guy named Torn, who is kind of emo. I'm not gonna lie.
Would you say he's emotionally torn?
I would very much.
It's just going to be my contribution to this episode is making terrible dad jokes.
And Torrance wants him to join I want to say I don't remember the actual name or if it was just a rebellion, but essentially the rebellion, because they want to defeat General Praxis and get rid of all of his whole army.
Yeah, they got to blow up the Death Star.
Yeah. But to prove that he's actually capable and won't just fucking die, they have to go in the... Could you not squeak your toy, please? Thank you.
Sorry. The squeaky toy in the background was so unexpected for me. That was probably really loud. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Well, I'm also sorry to the listener.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry, listener. So they have to go and defeat metalheads, which metalheads are essentially just like big rabid dogs. Pretty much.
Really? I don't remember that. I'll be
You don't
honest. None of the enemies in Jack and Daxter were ever memorable for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Please stop.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah. Letty, why don't you go downstairs and play? Or not. Come on. Play with
Just
you
having a
after.
good time.
There we go.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the enemies, unless if it's like the big bads, are very forgetful.
like, yeah, I mean, when you mentioned General Praxis, like, I remembered him. But like, I cannot remember a single like mob encounter that I had in those games.
Yeah. I could probably pull up a picture of a metalhead and send it to you if you want.
Yeah, do that. Let me see if that jogs my memory.
All right.
In the meantime, viewer, fun fact I've learned about Jay today, and that's Jay doesn't know how to spell the word writing.
I make a lot of mistakes when I type, okay?
There is a W.
I was flabbergasted that I couldn't find my notes.
You were very flustered, and that's what gave you that horrible
Flustered.
spelling.
Yeah. I was flustered. That's what I meant to say.
Gotcha. That's the excuse. I was just gonna say you're dumb.
This isn't the exact image I was looking for. Maybe Metalhead wasn't the right person I was thinking of. But I'll send it to you to see if you remember anyway. I could have sworn they were Metalhead. I gotta open Discord on my computer now. Takes forever. Back to enemy mobs. Let's see what there is.
And now that you got to take charge of the situation, it's not quite so easy, is it?
No.
Appreciate the work I put in. Appreciate it, I say.
Interesting fact about Jak 2 while I'm actually looking for the images is in Japan and Japan only, Jak 2 was actually called Jak 2 Renegade.
That sounds fucking cool.
Right?
Why didn't they call that here? Man.
They
Japan's
should have.
always fucking us over when it comes to cool video game stuff.
They really are.
I say that now, I can't think of any examples, but I know it happens.
Maybe I'm thinking of a mob, my specific image. Yeah, apparently I guess they're really forgettable. I can't even keep them straight. I guess that was the mob then. Upload file and send. It was like one of the first mobs you actually encountered in Jak 2.
I do not see it just yet, so I will let you know when I see it and if I remember it.
Okay. Well, within Jak 2, they were spent to kill a bunch of metalheads as well as plant down a flag. I can't remember if this was something they said or they just did, but they plant down a flag on this big building, which is obviously worn, torn, and half fallen apart. And it was actually kind of a, I want to say homage. Is that the right word that I'm thinking of?
Homage.
Homage, yeah. Homage to every time you got a precursor orb in the first game. It was a very distinct sound that would happen and movement. And they did that movement while they were planning down the flag, as well as the music. But then the building fell apart. So it was kind of like, in a way, saying that their childhood is gone, if that makes sense. Probably
Yeah, I
butchered
gotcha.
that. Yeah, because you
I'll
don't
tell
get any
you.
more precursor orbs in Jack 2 or Jack 3.
I'll tell you now. The image wasn't popping up for me, so I just Googled Jack 2 Metalhead, and I think what it is that Metalhead is the name of a faction of enemies, because there
Well,
seems to be different types.
I remember there was it kind of was a faction, but there was also that big dude that you probably see. He was one of the big bads, but he wasn't. You didn't fight him until the end of the game.
Well, like I see a grunt, I see a hopper, I see a cloaker, um, I see metal peed,
Well, the
centurion.
grunts, hoppers, and whatnot, those are probably what I'm thinking of then, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had to fight those and go back. And every time you killed them, you got... It was a little yellow crystal, essentially. It was like in an oval shape. You got a point for that, and you had to bring them back to Torn. Slowly throughout the game, you get more and more weapons and ammo mods for each weapon, which actually used different variations of the eco. So like yellow eco, red eco, blue eco. Just not white or dark eco. And green eco wasn't actually a weapon, that was still your health. I never explained what green eco was. Green eco is literally just to regenerate health. I just realized that.
It's like the life ego.
Yeah. Trying to think. After doing a few missions, you finally meet the Green Sage, who has been here, but he doesn't remember you. It's because you went into the future where it's a different Green Sage.
So it's like a title, not like literally the same guy.
Let me explain, actually. So I explained that wrong. It's the same guy, but it's before he actually meets you. That's the twist of Jack, between Jack and Jack 2, is you were sent as a kid back in time so you could be raised.
Well, okay, hang on. Okay. Okay, wait. All right, so Jack was like born in the future.
Yep.
Sent back in time into the past, was raised with the Green Sage, and then eventually got sent back to the future at the end of Jack 1 and the beginning of Jack 2.
Yes.
And so you're in the future now, and you encounter the Green Sage, but it's the Green Sage before he met you, even though he would be older now and would have already lived through the experience of...
No, because, okay, let me explain it like this. So, Jack was born in Jack 2. It wasn't exactly Jack 2, but let's say that timeline.
In that era.
That era. So the Green Sage would be younger. And then throughout the years, that's when he finally meets Jack as a little kid.
So the Green Sage also went back in time.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yes. I was assuming that he was just, static on the timeline. But if he went back in time too, then okay, so in Jack 2, there's in this time there's two Jacks. There is the current Jack who's like 17, and then there's baby Jack somewhere who the Green Sage winds up taking back in time.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it.
I probably should have waited to mention that though, because that's kind of like one of the big things at the end of the game. Because there's a couple times in the game, somewhat early on, but mainly in the later, that you actually see and actually interact with Baby Jack.
Oh, okay.
And it's never stated until the end of the game that it's actually Jack, but it's kind of obvious. He has a very distinct look.
Gotcha. So kind
Yeah.
of like a Mario and Luigi partners in time type situation where he's just chilling out with his own baby self.
Yeah.
It's an abomination to the space-time continuum, but it's cute, so we'll let it slide.
Yes. And the reason he got sent back was because he was supposed to be the savior to help everyone. Which obviously he does since there's more games.
Yeah.
The first time you actually meet Baby Jack, he's with this old man. I can't remember if they said his name or not. Let me look that up. No, it wasn't Samos, because that was the Green Sage.
I hear Samos and I just think of like a discount Samus Aran. Just like, I'm Samos Oran.
Oh,
I'm a bounty hunter that fights the Bletroids.
the old man's name was Kor, who was essentially protecting Baby Jack for the time being.
All right. That name sounds familiar to me.
It will be, and I'll explain later because I don't want to spoil all of it right now.
Okay.
Kind of like I did with the I can't even remember now. Okay.
With the baby Jack.
Yeah.
Man, you do got ADHD.
Yeah, I have it bad. But I can't take medicine because I just get all drooly.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. So you meet Baby Jack, but you don't know he's Baby Jack. And you meet Kor, who was saying that he was protecting Baby Jack for the time being. Then after that, you essentially kill more of the guards, do a bunch more side missions, which the side missions aren't important. And a couple of the story missions aren't that important. They don't really progress the story that much.
Yeah.
You meet...
Again, PS2 era games just did that.
Yeah, they really did. Trying to think. Eventually, you get to the point where you finally raid Baron Praxis's fucking castle. I don't think castle's the right word. Fortress would be a way better word to use.
Okay. Is it Baron Praxis? For some reason, I was thinking it was
Yes.
General Praxis.
Well, it's either. I mean,
Okay.
technically it is Baron Praxis, but a lot of people call him General because he kind of really is a general.
Okay.
And that's when it's actually one of my favorite missions, but also kind of one of the worst. There's a lot more platforming in that one. I forgot to mention actually something about Jack 2 is they somehow managed to keep most of the platforming from Jak and Daxter, while still including a bunch of new things like the dark story as well as the guns and all that, which was awesome.
Oh yeah, he got guns in that game. That's right.
Yeah. So essentially, you have this whole huge fight with Baron Craxus, and before you could even finish him off, Core comes out and kills him. And it turns out Core is actually a metalhead in disguise. So you don't even get the satisfaction of killing the person that tortured you for 2 whole years. And Core is the big bad boss. When you searched up metalheads, there should have been someone who kind of had this weird looking head and kind of like tentacles off his body. That's what he looks like. He's like the king of the metalheads.
I don't think I saw that.
Okay.
Okay, I just looked up what he looks like. Yeah, I definitely didn't see that.
Yeah, he was way towards the end of the game.
Yeah, wow.
I'm going to be honest with you, for the whole Jak and Daxter series, most of my knowledge at the end of the game is mainly off YouTube or looking things up. Because as a kid, there were certain stages I could never finish. And now that I even have all the games, I just haven't really had the time between every other game that I own to go back to that.
I mean, like, again, early 2000s platformers weren't very intuitive. And, like, for a kid who's still learning their fucking hand-eye coordination in their day-to-day life, like, trying to coordinate these janky fucking platforming controls. And, like, in that era, that shit was unforgiving. You fall off a ledge, you lose, like, 5 minutes of progress.
I'll even add on to that. In each of the Jak and Daxter series, there's actually 1 or 2 missions that are so hard to beat, not because of the platforming, but because of the janky mechanics that they tried to include. Like Jak and Daxter, there was a fishing thing that you had to do, which a lot of people would consider the hardest thing. You had to catch a bunch of certain fish while avoiding the other ones, otherwise they'd kill the original fish. Jak 2, there was a mission where you had to control, it was either some sort of vehicle and shoot other vehicles down. But it was so janky and hard because you move so slow and you can't really aim properly with the thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even just the platform was unforgiving, it was also other mission. Even if, like, for that specific mission, even if you died, like, right at the end before you could finish it, you have to restart that whole fucking mission. And it sucked.
See, I think Insomniac really took a lot of the issues with the Jak and Daxter series to heart, because a lot of these things we're describing, I recall, were fixed in the Ratchet and Clank series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is a much more intuitive and streamlined series than Jak and Daxter was. Even the first Ratchet and Clank game, which is the worst designed of them all, is still it's a lot more easy to pick up and play these days than the first Jak and Daxter game.
As much as I hate to admit that, I totally agree with it. It is very true.
The first Ratchet and Clank game I actually played was Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal, which I didn't understand that pun for a long time because I didn't know that arse was like a British version of ass. So
I actually didn't know that until like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, up your arsenal. But and like playing that game, and that's like the third game in a series of like how many fucking Ratchet and Clank games are there? Like 15?
Easily.
Yeah, there's a shit ton. Even though that's still early on, it was so fucking silky smooth compared to a lot of other games at the time.
Again, as a Jack and Daxter fanboy who still thinks Jack and Daxter should be the mascot for the PS2, I do have to agree with that. It is
Yeah.
very true.
I do appreciate Insomniac as a company because you can really chart their growth in skill over the years. Because again, like I think they worked on Spyro in their earliest days. I don't think they were like the main guys, or I don't even know if they were named Insomniac yet, but I know the people who worked for Insomniac worked on that game, I'm pretty sure. And then they formed Insomniac, they made Jack and Daxter, and then they made Ratchet and Clank. And these days, they made the fucking Spider-Man game. Like
Yeah.
you can tell a very serious level of progression, and now everyone's excited because they're going to make a Wolverine game.
I guess you could say their urge to progress and make everything better was Uncharted.
Wait, did they make Uncharted?
Well, Naughty Dog did, but there was a lot
Oh,
of crossover between Naughty Dog and Insomniac. Like Jack
that's
and
true.
Daxter is mainly Naughty Dog, but Insomniac helped a lot.
I wanted to laugh at that pun, but I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't them.
When you said charted, that immediately popped to my mind, and I was gonna say, was that a pun? But I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I wasn't that smart. It's just my vocabulary. I use words like that sometimes, all right?
Oh,
So is that about it for Jack 2? They fight Buggy
core of the
Boy.
metalhead.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that right before you defeat him, or after you defeat him in his dying words or whatever, he's essentially tells you that that little boy was you. I'm gonna look that up real quick to make sure I'm not giving false information. Because like I said, I've never actually beaten any of the games.
Fake fan over here.
Hey, I still love the series.
That's fine. I think I've only like beaten one of the Ratchet and Clank games.
I've never actually played a Ratchet and Clank game, mainly for the reason that I was a Jack and Daxter fanboy.
So you were like, no, I'm Team Jack and Daxter. I can't play Ratchet and Clank. It's the rivalry. It's like the person who's like, I won't drink Coke not because I don't like the way it tastes, but because I drink Pepsi.
That was purely my reason as a kid for not trying Ratchet and Clank. And nowadays, I'm just not interested in it to try it.
There was a reboot of the original game that was made recently, like a proper reboot, not like a remaster. Like they made a new game, and that reboot, because a few years ago they actually came out with the Ratchet and Clank movie.
How was that?
It was pretty good.
That's good.
It wasn't like mind blowing or anything, but you know what? I enjoyed it. It was all right. And so they made like a reboot of the original game because the movie was telling the story of the original game, and so they were like, hey, it's a good time to like reboot the game so that people who watch the movie can like try playing it without having to play the more janky original Ratchet and Clank game. Also, Ratchet's voice sounded a lot different in that first game. He sounded like he smoked a fucking pack of Marlboros every day.
Really?
Yeah, well, because like when he talks to modern games, he's like, "All right, Clank, we gotta take this Omni wrench and shove it up his ass, like, or he'll talk like that. But like in the old game, he's like, my name's Ratchet. What's yours? I didn't add the cough for effect. I just coughed because I was doing the voice. But like, it sounded so like strained, like he was trying to sound like a whoa gnarly dude, like he was trying to sound like a stoner surfer or something. And it became something much more natural sounding later.
All right.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Oh yeah, I looked it up. It was one of the last things he said.
Cool. Now, you can explain to me something that I have been slightly curious about for over a decade, but never curious enough to actually go out of my way to discover information on it.
Okay.
What the fuck is the deal with Dark Jack?
What do you mean by that?
Jack 3.
Well, Dark Jack was in Jack 2 also.
Oh, what? God damn it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Because you were pumped full with Dark Eco throughout the game, you can actually use the dark variant of Jack, and he like totally hulks out and just fucking claws people to death in the whole 9 yards.
Oh, wait, I do think I remember. See, like, I was having trouble remembering when Dark Jack actually appeared. For some reason in my head, I was like, yeah, he appeared in Jack 3. But now that you mention it, I do seem to remember playing as Dark Jack. And I never played Jack 3. So,
I will admit Jack 3 is my least played out of the Jack games. Not counting Daxter, obviously, because I've never had the chance to play it.
Again, you're not missing a whole lot. It's they were trying to take inspiration from Oddworld. Specifically, okay, how many people out there remember the game Oddworld Stranger's Wrath? Probably no one, right?
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Hey, whoa, what's going on here? Ooh, it's I, the blue of Christmas future. Okay, look, I'm currently editing the Jack and Daxter episode, and I realized that when we were recording yesterday, I brought up Stranger's Wrath, and then I went on a big diatribe explaining Stranger's Wrath, as well as the Oddworld series in general, and I couldn't remember why the fuck I ever brought it up in the first place. The entire point I was trying to make is that in the video game Daxter for the PSP, they give the game more of like a Western feel almost. You're in like a town with predominantly wooden structures, and it's kind of deserty, and you use guns in this third person shooter essentially, and Daxter takes bounty style missions. Like, you can choose what areas and enemies to fight against, and because Stranger's Wrath had recently come out at the time, I did notice in that era of games there was like an uptick of bounty hunter style missions in video games where you could go to a bounty board and choose what you wanted to do. That was the point I was trying to make. I'm so sorry for making a podcast where your co-hosts are both people with ADHD. Okay, back to the past. Another Samurai Jack reference. Whatcha? It was a really cool. Okay, so of the Oddworld series in general, right?
No, never heard of any of that.
Okay, Oddworld is like it usually focuses on protagonists that are little like big head gremlin guys, like Abe or Munch, I think are like some of their names. So you play as these little like tiny body guys, big heads. They look kind of goofy, but they're in this how would I describe it? It's like creepy, wacky aesthetic. Like imagine like Nightmare Before Christmas, but without the Halloween theming.
Okay.
Like everything is sort of like a gross, inflated, cartoony kind of deal. And most of the games, are it's that aesthetic the whole way through. But for the PlayStation 2, they came out with a game called Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, where you play a stranger who is a fucking cowboy bounty hunter, and it's a western, and you're like in an alien saloon, and his weapon is a crossbow that fires these little critters, and it's like different ammo types based on different critters. Like one critter, like you launch the crossbow, it flies through the air, it latches onto an enemy and starts biting them to deal damage over time. Another one, it's like 3 of them, and they do like a spread shot thing.
Okay.
One of them just straight up explodes when it hits someone. So it's like a weird alien western thing, and it was super cool. And where was I going with that? Why did I start talking about Stranger's Wrath?
Yes, the person with ADHD.
That's true. I think I was saying like was I saying that Jack was taking inspiration from Stranger's Wrath?
I think so.
I can't remember why I was saying that now, but well, because like we were talking about Dark Jack, and you mentioned like Jack 3 is your least played of the games.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it, whatever. Keep going.
Okay. So towards the end of the Jack 2, after you defeat the whole big bad core, I'm just gonna call him Big Bad. And that's what they all are at 90s games, just the big bad. You essentially kind of have a little, I want to say a little party, where everyone's happy that Baron Praxis is dead and that they can finally rebuild and make the world better. Then Jack 3 comes around. I distinctly remember the intro because you're being escorted from the city on a prison vehicle to the desert lands, which I believed they had a specific name for it. I want to say it was the Outlands or something like that.
I think that might have been part of why I brought up Stranger's Wrath, because I was like, yeah, that was the game that you were in like a more deserty environment, right? And
yeah,
was I saying that like Stranger's Wrath made people start wanting to put their games in deserts? I don't know. Fucking this was a mistake. Why did we decide that 2 people with ADHD shouldn't need a script? Why would I ever let you talk me into this? Not having notes.
I feel so bad. I've totally butchered my love for this game.
No, I'm fucking around. You don't need to feel bad, man. Look, for me, nothing tells you more that someone is truly passionate about something than when they have so much to say about it that they can't even keep their thoughts straight and it comes out like an incoherent jumble. Because like if I'm talking about some shit that I don't care about, yeah, it's real short and it's very clear, right? Like if I'm talking about The Walking Dead, I'll be like, this okay, zombies appeared and now it's mostly a series that's less about surviving the zombie apocalypse and more about different factions and the way society has adapted to the zombie apocalypse and them learning to get along with or distrust each other in this new harsher world.
Pretty much.
See how succinct and clear that was? It's because I couldn't give less of a fuck about The Walking Dead.
I get that. Yeah, Walking Dead sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry for any fans out there. I don't like
I'm not. I hate you.
it.
Okay. So he gets prison transported to Desert Land.
Yes, he was being escorted from the city, and he gets kicked out of the vehicle, as well as Daxter, obviously. And we literally only see him like twice in the entire game. This cutscene, and then at the end. So I don't even think his name really matters. I could look
Who?
it up if you're curious.
Who? What?
The dude who kicks you out of the vehicle. He
Oh, okay.
essentially tells you that you're banned from the city for
Oh.
whatever reason.
Ever
I know
explain it, or is it something that's explained later in the game?
it's explained later, or it's explained there, but it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a bullshit reason, if that makes sense.
Like, oh, you've caused so much destruction to the city, or you don't fit in well with our new world government. Like, motherfucker, I helped you get it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I don't really care for him or the reason why you got kicked out.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit. That makes all of Jak 2 seem like bullshit in retrospect.
Yeah. A lot of fans actually say that Jak 2 was the best, and then Jak 3 kind of, it was good, but it kind of, eh.
Figured out at the end.
Yeah. So you essentially find a desert clan, and to be initiated into the clan, you got to go into this huge arena, which has platforming and lava at the bottom. So if you fall off the platform, you're done for. And you kind of have to be in the clan to survive in a desert because they have everything you need: vehicles, weapons, water, food, the whole 9 yards.
Literally everything I know of Jak 3 is that he is in a desert arena, because that's all that it was really marketed as, I recall.
Kind of. It literally all desert. You don't actually get to see the city. You see the city like twice in the game. Once is a flashback, and the second time is when you like go back at the end, I think. But yeah.
So it's just really not important to the story overall.
I wouldn't say. No. I can look it up if you're curious and you want the viewers to know. But personally, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like most of the focus is Jak now navigating this like Badlands environment.
Yeah, pretty much. That is the main point of this game. I gotta look up who the leader of that clan was, though, because that was actually kind of important. Damus. All right. Damus is the guy who's in charge of the whole thing. He's the king, or he was the king of Spargus. I don't know what Spargus was. I don't remember. What the hell?
Welcome to the Disney Bundle.
I don't even know what that was playing off of.
Hey, this episode's sponsored by Disney Plus, apparently, because they decided to force their way into our fucking episode.
God damn.
Well, pay up.
So Damus is in charge, and he essentially tells you you're a part, but you got to earn your way up the ranks, essentially, so you can get more shit, and you know what I mean. Typical game style. Got to move up the ranks. Over the game.
System.
Yeah. Over the series of the game, there's a lot of racing involved, actually. They have a bunch of cars with a bunch of weapons on that cars, and is actually Jak X's framework. Like, literally, most of the racing and guns from Jak 3 is in Jak X Combat Racing.
It sounds like an early version of what they did with fucking introducing ship combat in Assassin's Creed 3 just to make a pirate game for Assassin's Creed 4.
Maybe.
Like, you introduce a new game, like you're planning on making a game in a franchise or a series around one gameplay idea. And so you introduce a prototype version of that gameplay idea into an earlier entry to serve as a test bed. Like,
I
you
won't
can collect
lie.
all the error data and all the player input in a game where it's not the focus, so that you can make it better for the game where it is the focus.
Yeah. I won't lie. I'm doing Jak 3 a big dishonor by not knowing that. God damn it. And now she follows me around with a squeaky toy.
I'm doing Jak 3 a big dishonor.
You literally have so many other toys that don't have squeakies.
But it likes the squeaky though. Aww.
You wanna go? Huh? What'd you say?
I said baby.
Oh. A lot of racing.
My question
Oh, yeah.
would be, like, are you really doing Jak 3 a disservice? Because I have never heard any story thing about Jak 3. It doesn't sound like there is, like, much in the way of plot.
There-
The setup, like, the way that you say that it's set up is, like, sort of out of left field, completely disjointed from the ending of the last game. Really weak reasoning for him to be in this new place. Like, I can totally see why this game would be considered like the redheaded stepchild of the series.
Yeah. There are some important things in the game, but overall, I'd say it's kind of the weakest one. To the point where, even as a kid, it was my least played one.
Yeah, I can totally see that. It's kind of like, again, I'm sorry I keep comparing this series to Ratchet and Clank, but there is a game that's called Ratchet Deadlocked, and notice that it's not called Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked, it's Ratchet Deadlocked, and it's because it's the fourth game, and in that game, he goes into like a tournament, like an arena, and he's got to fight alone. He doesn't have Clank with him, and you know what? It's a fun game because it puts all of the focus into the gun and gadget combat, which I would say is the best part of those games. But it does still feel like there's something missing, because without Clank, and for the average viewer who doesn't know about these characters, Clank is a little robot who attaches himself to this character Ratchet, riding on his back like a backpack, and Clank can produce a propeller out of the top of his head, so he can give Ratchet the ability to glide or to high jump using this helicopter propeller, and later on he can long jump using like jet thrusters. And so a lot of the platforming aspect is removed when Clank isn't on Ratchet's back. So it's like they went all in for the combat and decided to forego platforming entirely, as well as one of the biggest draws of Ratchet and Clank is the character dynamics between the two titular characters. So when they remove one of them, it it gives a very different experience. And it seems to me like Jak 3 is so divorced from the rest of the series, from what I'm hearing and what I have heard in the past, that people who are super big fans of the first two games, which are themselves quite different in tone, aren't as keen on the third one.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Why we're running a little bit long. Why don't you give me the cliff notes on what's the important story stuff from Jak 3, and then we can start talking about like your favorite gameplay stuff.
Okay. Jak 3. So over the game, you have to collect certain certain armaments, which give you more health and shit. They are part the house of Tor, I want to say it was. Oh, I hope that's right. It's either... What? No, it was the House of Myr. Sorry. The House of Myr. Which were... I don't know how to explain it other than special. Like,
Okay.
special armaments. That everybody wanted, but nobody could really get type of shit.
Just really high level fancy shit.
Yeah.
All right.
The leader, after a while in the game, dies. I forget who killed him. Like I said, I haven't really paid too much attention to Jak 3. So he dies. And over the time, you meet up with one of your old partners who, for whatever reason, or old partners that you met in Jak 2. For whatever reason, he's also there. I don't know why either.
Right. Man, they really just said, like, you know, fuck this story, right? We're just going to do cool shit.
Kind of. After the leader dies, you shortly find out that he was actually your father. Like, biological father.
Oh, okay.
And you are the part of the House of Myr, which, I never explained that, is a big title within the game. Like, very noble family, powerful type of shit. There just weren't any... they just weren't around, if that makes sense. Like, most of them weren't alive, so the ones that were just didn't advertise it.
Gotcha. Man, I gotta say, I don't think it's a great move. Like, having this character, having them die, and then after, like, post-mortem, being like, by the way, they're the main character's father. Imagine fucking, you know, they're having that scene on the second Death Star at the end of Return of the Jedi. Luke pulls Vader's helmet off, and he's like, by the way, I'm your dad.
Yeah, like, that would be so weak.
It's like, you know, you probably should have had that sooner. Might make the death feel more impactful.
There was one character in Jak 3 that I absolutely loved, and I didn't know why at the time, but now that I'm older, I 100% realize they were non-binary and androgynous.
Ah.
Yeah, and they were my favorite character, and I didn't realize that at the time.
No, I can't quite tell if this character's a boy or a girl, but I really like him for some reason.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
But it sucked that they weren't in the game too much.
Ah.
A lot of people actually just refer to them as him, but it never says whether she or he, and they don't even say they just always refer to them as their name. Never no pronouns, nothing like that.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like again, because you know, Sony, you know, is a Japanese corporation, and so a lot of a lot of games also have strong Japanese consideration when they're made for the PlayStation, even if they're made, in America or adjacent countries, Western countries. In Japan, they've got greater access to gender neutral terms and pronouns, and
Oh, really?
yeah, one of the like it's a lot easier to pull a gender surprise with a character, like bait you into thinking that they're a guy, like a helmet, masculine voice, whatever, and pull it off and it's a girl, because there's less language that can easily give that away. There's a lot easier ways to write around that. Like and like even when they do give hints, it can still be more subtle. Like for instance, the way that you can say I in Japanese, like if you're referring to like myself, right? Um there's a couple words for it. One of them is ore, like ore, and that is considered a very masculine way of referring to yourself. So like there's been times where a character will look like a cute girl, but they say ore, and so people are like, wait, is that a trap? Is it a boy? But even then, it's not like a hard and fast rule, right? Like there are some women that say ore, so it's like,
yeah.
What I'm getting at with all that is, I'm sure that character was much easier to write in Japanese than they were in English.
Yeah, for sure. And it just sucks that we didn't see much of them, though, because they were easily my favorite character in that entire game.
Yeah, it sucks when that happens.
Yeah.
So,
oh,
what's the end game with Jack? I don't actually know how his story ends. I don't even know if he survives to the end of the game or anything.
okay. So at the end, that original dude who kicked you out of the prisoner transport is in a old precursor ruin with you. Like you're in the precursor ruin and you were defeating a precursor robot or sentry or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Then for whatever reason he shows up and essentially says that he planned all of this. He knew that the one guy was his father and the whole 9 yards about, oh, this was my grand plan. And now I'm going to meet a precursor, because behind that door that the sentry was protecting were supposedly the precursors. So they go through the door, and there's this white, it kind of looks like a regular human, but it's just like literally the color white. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Not Caucasian, but like paper.
Yes, paper white. It's all white, no facial features or anything like that. Like,
Right.
I don't know if there's a word for that. And they're just,
blank.
I guess that could work. They were kind of like godly, I'd say then.
It's like it's literally what God looks like in fucking Full Metal Alchemist.
I don't think I've never actually seen that.
Oh, he's literally just like a black outline, completely white body. Sometimes he smiles and you can see teeth, but like other than that, it's just completely nothing.
Yeah, then that. Just minus the smiling.
Yeah.
Anyway, that one dude essentially is asking for unlimited power or something like that.
Unlimited power. Sorry. There's so many Star Wars references in this one.
Daxter, while they two were talking, decides to get off Jack's shoulder for once and crawls around this kind of weird machine. there's this little door that he opens, and there's 3 Otzels, which is what Daxter is, sitting there pulling machine like levers and pressing buttons and shit.
Oh
And
my
they hear them talking through a megaphone coming out of the precursor. So it's revealed that the Otzels were literally the precursors.
Oh my fucking god.
That's literally the most important part about Jak 3.
I
I'm not gonna lie, I hate movies don't do that often, and same with video games, but I hate when that happens.
Well, because it's always the same fucking thing as Wizard of Oz, which is one of the oldest movies ever. So,
Yeah. And that's when Daxter actually gets the option to turn back to human. But instead, he convinces his girlfriend to turn into an Otzel.
wait, when did he get a girlfriend?
They weren't officially girlfriend, like they weren't officially dating, but they kind of had a thing. This was during Jak 2. And then it was just never mentioned in Jak 3 until the ending.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
they kind of just showed up out of nowhere.
This is what I'm talking about when I say Jak 3 sounds like it was like they just made it up as they went, because there's so much shit that's just tacked on. Just
Yeah.
like, do this thing, explain it later, or never. Gives a fuck.
And I'm also, like, it wasn't a great game. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And I'm sure some people will say it's a lot better than I'm describing, and I will say it is. I'm bad at describing things, and I have ADHD brain, so I forget a lot of shit, and I say a lot of shit that are out of order. But still, out of all the Jak and Daxter games, not counting the one that wasn't made by Naughty Dog, it is considered the worst ones.
Yeah. So, all that in mind, if you were recommending the game to someone, like, what would you say are your favorite things about the game?
Easily the platforming, because it was supposed to be an improvement towards Flash, what the fuck, Crash. Like, actually, I wanted to mention loading screens again. So obviously there are no loading screens in Jak and Daxter, which is awesome and very impressive for the time. They did that for a reason, though. It's mainly because the loading screens in Crash, the older games, could literally take forever to load. Like, I don't know if you ever played any of the older Crash games on the older systems, but
I sure did, and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was easily the biggest complaint about Crash, was their loading time.
Yeah, you'd sit there staring at a completely static screen for like 45 seconds sometimes, and you're just like, oh my god!
Yeah.
And like, when I say that number, I'm sure people are gonna be like, oh come on, that's not that long. It is when you're just sitting there staring at a static screen.
Doing nothing, yeah. And I'm sure that for other people it's easily been longer too.
Yeah. I could be underselling it. Like, I remember, because like sometimes, like, okay, you know what the worst thing is? I'm sure you've had this experience sometime in your life. I feel like this is a universal thing for people who have played PS1 era games. You're playing a game, it's got long loading screens.
Yep.
You've been playing for 3 hours. You enter a new area. There's a loading screen. And so you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And after like 3 minutes, you have the realization that the game crashed. And you couldn't know that it crashed because it froze on the loading screen, which already takes so long and there's no motion. So it doesn't, there's nothing to stop to give you an indication that the game froze.
I absolutely hated when loading screens didn't have any motion type of thing, so you couldn't know that it crashed.
It was one of the greatest innovations in gaming, and I'm not fucking kidding. Like, this is
No,
not
I believe you.
sarcastic. This is
It's
not hyperbole. When they added little spinning wheels in the corner of the screen during a loading bit, because I I don't think people nowadays know the reason they, so that if the spinning wheel stopped, you would know that the game stopped, that it crashed.
yeah.
Nowadays, they almost do it out of tradition, because if a game crashes, your system immediately takes you back to like the start menu. But back in the day, it didn't have that feature. You had to turn the console off or unplug it sometimes even. Sometimes the system would crash so bad you couldn't turn it off. You had to disconnect it from the power source.
My PS4 literally did that the other day, actually. I could not turn it off. I had to unplug it. And the worst part was, because you unplug it while it's on, sometimes it'll corrupt everything.
Data. Yeah.
I had to factory reset everything.
I
had to factory reset it. Yeah. It even corrupted the actual I don't know what the official term for it was, but I essentially had to I had to download that onto my flash drive to put it on my SSD.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. I'm still in the process of downloading my games.
Oh, that's a bad that's a bad one right there.
I'm not trying to brag about this. Like, I promise this isn't a bragging thing, but I have an 8 terabyte SSD, and I use a lot of that. So it's literally taking forever to download all of my games again.
Thunk, what's that noise? Oh, that's your dick hitting the ground? Oh, but I'm not bragging about it or anything. So fucking okay, Mr. 8 terabyte.
No, but back to your loading screen tips or loading screen thing. I hate to be one of those people, but these kids really don't know that. like they don't know the struggle of that.
Dude, it's so wild to hear you say that, because like you're like, what are you, 10 years younger than me? So like, yeah. I know for a fact I've lived through certain conventions of gaming that you have no idea about. So for you to be like, man, these kids these days, but like, I guess the same could be said about me. Like, there could be some 40-year-old being like, oh, shut the fuck up, you didn't have to play Atari. Like,
yeah.
So, but it's just funny to me because like you're getting to where like I am, where it's just like, I'm not trying to be an asshole to the younger generation, but also fuck off, kids. Like, you don't know how good you got it.
Exactly. Like, you have it so fucking good. Like, not to say that there aren't problems that you don't deal with.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
There's still a lot less problems that you have.
You don't have to pull a cartridge out and blow actual physical air into it.
Speaking of cartridges, PS2 and PS1 memory cards,
yeah.
Oh, it was the worst when you got corrupted data on there, and it was even worse when you couldn't even delete the corrupted data.
What I don't think a lot of people understand is like, and obviously it's not actually the way it worked, but I felt like I was playing fucking Tetris with my save files,
right,
on the memory cards. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because like they would show icons for for your games, and like you could organize them based on like size and stuff, and you had to be like, oh god, if I want to save this game, I need this much memory, but I either have to delete 3 of these smaller games or this one bigger game, and I love playing all 4 of these games.
And it's worse for like, no, I don't want to say normal people, but average people who grew up in this era, because your parents didn't really know what it was, or
they didn't want to drop $20 on some accessory when, from their knowledge, we already bought the game system and we bought the game, so why do you need this card to play it?
Yeah. and they just didn't know what it was, and you
And to
couldn't
try
really
and
explain
explain
it
it
to
to
them.
them, it's like, well, I don't technically, but I would lose stuff that I played on other games if I don't get it, and they'll just be like, "Fucking shut up,
Oh my
kid."
god. The worst is when you first got the gaming console, either PS1, PS2, you didn't get a game memory card with it, so you
And so you
literally
couldn't do anything.
you never shut off the fucking game or the
Yep.
system, or you'd lose all of your progress.
Yeah, it's like if you encountered something wild and you're like, I absolutely have to save this game. I need to run out to the store to buy a memory card, and I can't turn the game off until I do so. I
'Cause
think
even-
I literally had an experience one time where I started playing a game that I didn't think I would enjoy. I wound up loving it. I sunk like 5 hours into it, and I realized, oh my god, I need a new memory card. And I ran out to the store to get a new memory card. And when I got home, there was a power outage.
No, that's the worst. Oh,
So I was like, I couldn't even be mad at mom. It wasn't like mom turned my video game off. I was like, why is my video game off? She's like, the power went out in the house. So I'm like, damn it. No.
and you always get so far in the game too, and then something like that happens. It's never like you played a little bit of it and then it happens. It's always when you get so far.
It's always the games you can't skip cutscenes of too.
Oh, speaking of that, you can skip a lot of cutscenes nowadays. You
Yeah.
couldn't back then. You were stuck with those.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I've been talking to you guys lately about Kingdom Hearts. Do you remember I told you in Kingdom Hearts 1, there's a bit in Hollow Bastion where Sora has to fight 1v1 with Riku,
Yeah.
who's been possessed by Ansem. This is like when Kyrie's there on the ground, they just revealed she's a princess. There's famously, this fight fucked up a lot of fans of the series, because nowadays it's not a problem. In the PlayStation 4 remasters, like the collection and everything, you're playing Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. In Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, you have an option to skip that cutscene. But in the original Kingdom Hearts, every time Riku killed you, you had to sit and watch that 3-minute cutscene again before you could fight him.
That sucks.
Yep.
3 minutes is so long. Like,
It
okay,
was a story-heavy cutscene, so yeah.
like, okay, like real time.
Hang on, Andy
Okay.
apparently has something to say. What?
You guys are talking about unskippable cutscenes, I see.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you played Final Fantasy 14?
I
Does
have
that
not.
have a problem with unskippable cutscenes?
Woo! The Praetorium! It is one of the last dungeons in the A Realm Reborn expansion. Over 45 minutes of unskippable cutscene.
You're joking.
Nope. It's broken up with dungeon crawling, but then eventually you just get like there's literally an area where you meet a boss, you get out of that unskippable cutscene, take maybe 10 steps, another unskippable cutscene.
Dude, that fucking sucks.
And
That
then
makes me not want to try the series.
it's a good game. There's only like a small handful of dungeons with unskippable cutscenes, but the Praetorium is by far the worst fucking thing that has ever happened to me.
I should also
Now, mind you, there's events before any major like maintenance work where like pieces of like a new dungeon or something is released for the game. Where there's like a tombstone event where if you do certain dungeons, you can take these like little mini currencies to these Moogles and like get shit in game for it that you would normally have to pay like money for, or it's like entirely custom to the event. Guess which one gives the most currency?
The one you
The
can't see.
cutscene.
The fucking Praetorium.
I
Oh,
should also mention to you, for posterity, that Final Fantasy XIV is an MMO. It's not like one of the normal Final Fantasy games where it's a single player story. So
okay.
it's got unique issues that the rest of the series doesn't necessarily share.
I'm not gonna lie, Final Fantasy 14 is still my favorite game, like the Praetorium.
I fumbled my phone and caught it in midair.
Fool.
Anyway, all right. Look, I think that's enough of us talking about like video game gripes. This episode's gone on for much longer than I expected it to. So I'm going to start wrapping things up, okay? Do you have any last things that you want to say about Jak and Daxter to anybody who may not have played the series?
I would say you should at least give it a try. They have a remastered trilogy in the PS4 store, as well as the PS3 store. But if you're doing it on the PS3, I highly recommend you get it now, because I'm pretty sure they're shutting down the servers for PS3 pretty quickly.
Yeah. I wouldn't honestly recommend anybody get anything for the PlayStation 3 at this point.
I still play on my PS3.
Sure. But like it's stuff and it's becoming more and more obsolete.
Yeah.
It's not like a PlayStation 5 where nobody can fucking get one. Like everybody can get a PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend at least picking it up to try it. The Jak X Combat Racing, it's literally what it sounds like. It's Jak and Daxter Racing. It's literally the only one of the few racing games I actually genuinely enjoyed. I'd also recommend that.
Do you not like racing games typically?
No, I think they're boring as hell.
Oh, I hate you.
I'm sorry. For me, racing games are the equivalent of like somebody like Fortnite. Like
Whoa. Let's not get crazy. Okay, wait. First of all, are you talking about racing games in general or specifically combat racers like Mario Kart?
Racing games in general. Jak X Combat Racing was a combat racing game.
Okay, let me refine what I was saying then. If we're talking about something like Gran Turismo or whatever, those fucking suck.
Yes.
For speed, those are more palatable because they have better aesthetic and better car customization and it's more fun. If you're talking Burnout, that shit is rad, and I will stranglehold anyone who says it's not fun, because Burnout is literally, what if we made a racing game where you are encouraged to blow up cars? It's not a punishment, it is a reward to explode. And then obviously combat racers, it depends greatly. Like there was a game for the PlayStation 1 called Micro Machines, which wasn't very good. Or like that one fucking Barbie racer or whatever that sucks. But then like again, you got shit like Mario Kart, which is like there's a reason they made a fucking bajillion of those. It's because those games are really good. They're really fun. So yeah, that's my feeling of racing games.
Staying on the topic of racing games, since these are related to Jak anyway, the only racing games I actually genuinely enjoyed was Jak X Combat Racing, and literally the only Crash racing game I ever enjoyed was Crash
Team Racing?
Crash Tag Team Racing.
Oh, okay.
The other ones, like Nitro or whatever, I didn't like because I don't like regular racers or most racer games. But Tag Team Race,
I only ever played the first Crash racing game.
I know this is a Jak and Daxter episode. I highly recommend, if you have a chance, to play Crash Tag Team Racing, because it's not a full-on racer. I mean, it is, but it isn't. So you have open world, there's still platforming, you can buy cars, and you can race them. It's mainly racing, but there's still an open world and shit that you get to explore. Really great.
I remember the first Crash racing game had like a world map where you would explore that and you would find portals that lead you to actual racetracks.
Yeah.
All right. let's wrap things up. You can follow Jay at Shitposter of America on Facebook. And all these links are in the description. You can follow me at Cape Corner on Twitter. You can join the Cape Corner Discord where you can in occasional polls. You can send memes to people. You can just talk about, the little community there. You can support the series if you do have a link on my Anchor page. Greatly appreciate that. Fucking.
Hit my finger.
Okay. Andy burned their finger, so.
Oh.
God damn it, threw me off. I think that's everything. I think already. So, yeah. Join us next week where talk about something else. It's going to be a superhero episode next week. I might put up a poll. Thank you for listening. Stay true to yourselves, and remember, we can all be heroes.